What's up? Welcome to Backlog Beatdown, a video game podcast where you can play through your backlogs with us. This week we're playing Tomb Raider 2013. I'm your host, Alex, joined by my co-host, Jonik.
Sam! There we go. Laura!
Phenomenal.
Sam!
It's really the crux of our review. That's all we have to say.
That's the entire review. It's just a mega compilation of Sam!
Of only you saying Sam. We're going to slice it over every time Laura says it.
It would be sick as fuck.
It'd be the best version of the game.
Truly.
But we are here to talk about the non-enhanced version of the game. So
yeah,
we can start off with
good
overall thoughts.
Overall thoughts. You know, I was thinking about it more since we had time to think about it more.
Yeah, because this is definitely not our second attempt at this recording.
No, this is our first unedited attempt.
Yeah, first pass. We're professionals.
We always get it the first time. And I found it so funny because we were talking about how, like, we didn't know what to expect from Tomb Raider. I mentioned I never seen anything on it. I've seen like 30 seconds of the original Tomb Raider games gameplay. I've probably only ever seen promotional stuff like screenshots for maybe Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So I had no idea what to expect from this game. Uncharted, the 30 seconds of gameplay I've seen from that was probably the closest thing I could have to relate to like any idea of what Tomb Raider would be like.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Tomb Raider to turn into a full-on, like, I don't want to call it, it's not an obsession, but like it's a thing now for us because there's not just one Tomb Raider game. There's an entire franchise. There's the comics. There's this whole, there's a lot to Tomb Raider. It's been around for a long time. And I thought, you know, we're just going to get a game off the backlog and it's going to be done. We're going to move on with life. I'm invested now, okay? I'm invested in Tomb Raider and Lara Croft. It's so funny how it's gone from this, like, yeah, we're just playing a random game to like, no, this is Tomb Raider. You don't just play it, you experience it.
It is wild how the game's not very long. It took like a week and a half to beat.
Yeah.
And in that time, I have purchased the remasters of the original 3 games.
Yeah.
Which is counterintuitive to the goal of this podcast, but it's happened.
It's the joy of gaming.
This is why this podcast might never end.
It'll never end.
But it is weird because we talked about it on the first pass, but the first 3 Tomb Raiders came out before either of us were born. At least the first 3, maybe more of them.
Yeah, before we were alive.
And these came out in this one came out in 2013.
Yeah,
and there was no way I was going to play this. I was not old enough. I was in the process of convincing my parents that I should be able to play Halo. Like, this wasn't passing that bar when every GameStop commercial was, look how horrifically she died. Like, there was no way. So it's kind of been like this. I've known about it, especially since I'm a huge Uncharted fan.
Yeah.
Where, like, you can't be a fan of Uncharted and not be aware of how it's influenced by Tomb Raider.
For sure. Because Uncharted, the first at least like 2 games, I think, if not 3, came out before, which I didn't know. That's still wild to me to think about, that it came out before Tomb Raider. At least the I don't know what to call it. It's not a remake. Revamp.
This like prequel trilogy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the first Uncharted came out in 2007.
Wow. That's crazy. What?
So it is weird because to me it feels like this is also inspired a little bit by Uncharted.
Oh, 100%.
Especially, it is so much grittier and darker in tone and atmosphere.
Yeah.
that some of it feels like we need something to really distinguish ourselves from Uncharted, because I don't know if the third one was out by the time.
What was the third one called? Well, I can just look up
But
Uncharted 3. Oh, Drake's
yeah.
Deception. I had this for PlayStation. I never played it because the only time I used a PlayStation was to play Dust 514, I think.
What is that?
Oh,
What are you
you're about to
talking
get some
about?
crazy lore. You know Eve Online?
Yeah. Is that the
Okay,
spaceship
so
game?
yeah,
One
the
of the many?
spaceship game with like one of the largest in-game like economies and like massive guilds and
Yeah.
wars like in game. Yeah. So my dad got really into Eve Online until he had to stop playing because it was a bit much. He also just got bored of it, Loki.
Sure.
And so like Prime during that time he was playing it. This holy crap. This actually was slated to release in 2013. I shit you not. That's incredible. Yo, what? It was out for a while, I think. I don't know how long it was open. 2013 to 2016. Anyways, so it was in the Eve Online universe, but you're like a foot soldier in like one of the wars on the planet. So it's basically we're making an FPS in Eve Online, but it's a different game. And I think I played it for like 20 minutes, the tutorial, and then I never went back. And that's the only time we had a PlayStation. It's probably
That
still
was
out.
it.
Yeah, that was it. The only time I touched a PlayStation, and
This is
and it
insanity.
came with Drake's Deception, Uncharted 3. It came with it. In fact, we might still have it. I look after this. I'll go check because I know we still have the PlayStation.
One day, if by brute force, we will play the Uncharted games.
Yeah. No, we can do it.
I'm going to make
That'd
sure
be
it
fun.
happens.
I'm down.
But back to whatever we were talking about.
Right, Uncharted 3.
Uh, the
Uh,
first 3 games were out
yeah, because
by the
2011 was
time this one
Uncharted
came out.
3. That's wild. So it was already
I have no
really established.
recollection because I kind of played these a little bit later. Of like how how the third one especially was perceived at the time. I know people love the second. I love the second. It's great.
Mm.
So this is kind of like a weird, in the same genre, but trying so distinctly to be very different.
Yeah. No, for sure. I can see that. I mean, they really do take those lines because I mean, it's known as the Survivor trilogy. You know, they really want you to know this is gritty, Laura. Okay. This is
I mean,
Laura.
they sell it
Laura.
well.
Dust. No kidding. So I mean, yeah, like what first hour? How much shit happens to her?
Uh, Ship crashes. She's shipwrecked. She gets kidnapped.
Uh-huh.
Falls. Gets impaled.
Falls.
And
Gets
that's like just
impaled.
the start of the awful things that happen to her.
Yeah, falls again.
Falls again.
Almost gets crushed like 3 different times.
Depending on how good you are at QTEs, she does get crushed many times.
Yeah, depending on your QT reaction time, many times.
If you're me, she died on the very first QTE. Because I have never once been like, oh man, QTEs, I can't wait. It's always like this panic shock.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, QT, and I forget every button on the controller.
You're not going to see any 10 out of 10 reviews where it's like the height of gameplay in this was the quick time events.
At the very least, not for me.
Not for Alex. No, it's wild.
It was kind of a shock when like you finally get to the first like campfire thing and it pulls up the menu and it's like, yeah, there's like experience points or skill points you can put in.
Yeah. No, because Yeah, again, don't know what to expect. Yeah, you get over there and they're like, yeah, here's the skills and here's the crafting. And yeah, you're going to have to scavenge and like upgrade your weapons and stuff. And it's like, huh? I thought I was just some like random archaeologist who just graduated like college a year ago or something.
Yeah, I had expected a much more straightforward type of gameplay than we got.
Yeah, because it was leaning to like that interesting, like almost a little bit of like survival, like I don't want to. Open world isn't the right word, but it kind of plays into that a little bit.
It's
But you
like
just drop out all the like you need to eat and sleep and crap like that. It's just go craft, go find stuff.
some of it feels a little like, especially the animal stuff,
Mm-hmm.
where like you start off at the very first campfire. She's like, "I need something to eat, whatever," and you have to go hunt
Yeah.
down a deer.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I like went out of my way to kill another animal for like anything after that. But there's like perks specific to animals.
There are perks specific for that because I know you can get it where you can see the highlight of them and with your what is it survival instinct. It
Yeah, her
basically
like
imagine Assassin's Creed eagle sight, more or less.
like puts out a dome of effect of like highlighting everything that's like important within
Yeah,
this area. Um,
it's weird
but I
because
never felt the need to do it.
I initially was like, oh, okay, they're having us hunt a deer. This is probably going to get a thing. Oh, I got experience points from it. Okay. And I like, for the first 20 minutes in that like first little area where you're in the woods or whatever, I was like, I went out of my way to like try and hunt all the little things because I think you could also, there was like rabbits, I think, and something else that I shot. You also come up against like a bear at some point, and there are wolves,
Yeah,
but it like yeah, you get like some experience and that's it. There's no other reason from my memory for doing so. It's it's interesting to have in there. Yeah, devote skill points to it nonetheless.
yeah, it's really bizarre to me.
It almost makes me wonder if like during development they had bigger plans for
Maybe,
it and it like maybe it just either didn't pan out or they just didn't end up having the time or resources to really do what they wanted to do with that. So they're just like, scrap it. Just keep
maybe
like
because
bare
it feels
minimum.
weird to keep all those perk points in, and maybe there's like because I didn't do it, there is something beneficial to like hunting down these animals I just didn't see. But from what I played, it never felt worth
Yeah.
doing or going out of my way to do. And all those there's enough perks for that specifically that it feels like there's a chunk of the game I'm not interacting with, but there's not a reason to do it.
Yeah, I really do think it was just XP. There might have been some challenges associated with it, but I also did not care. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Animal instincts. Keen observation allows you to spot hard to find animals and food sources. Like a whole skill point devoted to that alone. But like you don't use food, I don't think, except for the one time where they're like, Laura's hungry, kill the deer.
And I'm wondering if there's like at whatever the highest difficulty is, you have to
Maybe.
utilize that system.
I could see that, and you'd have to make your way back to camp. That'd be interesting. Maybe. I'm almost shit. Well, now I feel like I have to
We
look
have to
into this.
investigate this
Hold on. Let's
system.
see. See normal and hard. Setting, combat difficulty, exploration, aids, and puzzle challenges. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about that. So, no. In fact, it might make your survival instincts less effective or even disabled. So,
Well,
I,
it's
I
extra not
don't
helpful
know.
then.
It's extra
I
not
don't
helpful.
understand.
I don't know. A weird inclusion and sort of not useful thing. Most of the other skill points are pretty helpful. Like skills are pretty helpful. So in that respect, I feel like that's more an anomaly than anything for the game at the end of the day.
Yeah, most of the other ones are like you take more damage, which they're all like worded in ways that make you think that they're more involved than they are, but it's like basically just extra health
Mm-hmm. Yeah. More or
and
less.
things of that sort.
Yeah. And then with the weapon customization, because you have all the scrap you find, all your little yellow boxes that you go around and you plunge your ice pick into and break. You hear the familial, fucking Christ, the familiar breaking of wood as you get your like 5 scrap or something sad. And you're like, whew, I'm gonna have to open another 20 of these.
Yeah.
And you use that to upgrade, like, it's not just like a flat upgrade of the gun. You have, right? It's not just, it's not a flat upgrade. You have different upgrade levels, and they're like specific things that increase range or damage or recoil, so on and so forth. And then you find weapon parts in like the big chests, the ones you have to really pry open. And I will say that was fun every time you like found enough weapon parts to like do a full upgrade to the weapon. It like changes the weapon. Because when you first like get the assault rifle, it's like that Sten Mark II, like that World War II era rifle or whatever. And
Yeah.
then later on you get enough parts, and it might actually be more linked to how many upgrades you do for the gun, but then like it turns into a AK eventually. I don't know what the other looks are because I just remember the AK and the Sten, but it's like the same thing with the bow. You start out with like the saddest looking bow you've ever seen in your life. Okay, somebody truly found like 3 sticks, tied them together. I don't know if you can call it a bow, but eventually you get like an actual bow looking bow that's like one thing of wood. It looks nice, and then you get like a compact, modern day bow eventually when it's upgraded enough. That's a nice sense of progression right there. It's cool.
It's a cool system. I don't know if to me it felt like it was overly beneficial to have that over just being like, you found a new weapon that's like better than making
Yeah,
me kind of scrounge around for scraps. And you get
for
about
sure.
enough scrap to do like an upgrade or two per
Mm-hmm.
time you find a campfire.
More or less, yeah. And by the time you get to the end of the game, if you're not going overly out of your way to do every little nook and cranny, but you're still at least trying to do like most of the tombs and whatnot, and I would imagine finding most of the things sort of just hidden around, not like caches and whatnot, but like, oh, you didn't pass that scrap box, did you? You'll have upgraded everything pretty high because I had the bow completely upgraded, and I think the pistol, rifle, and shotgun, I had most of the upgrades for them. There were just a few I hadn't gotten by the end of the game.
I think by the end it was about the same. Where
Yeah.
everything almost had all the upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe there's a couple I just didn't want or didn't think would be helpful that I didn't grab.
No, for sure. The tombs were interesting to me because the tomb, every single tomb you come across, obviously, is the puzzle moment of the game. Outside of a couple areas where they throw puzzles for progression, though there's
The
not too
main
many of
tombs or
those.
the side ones? They're
There
kind
was
of
a
like optional.
distinction.
Yeah, I think
I
there's
thought they
some you
were
can
all
do just to
optional.
do. And then there's like main
Oh,
story ones that you run across. And you have like a big puzzle moment that's tied to progression. And then side ones where you just got like extra scrap.
oh. I think I'm stupid. I didn't realize. Or at least I don't remember there being a difference. Because I know there, like, yeah, there's. I do remember a couple, like, there's the tomb in the cave. That was definitely optional. There was probably an optional one in the mine, the chapel area thing. I was doing all of them regardless. Yeah, I mean, I was doing the optional ones too, I guess. So yeah, no, the optional ones. Big ones. What were the big ones? I'm trying to remember.
They're just the big story ones that you run across.
I guess.
Whatever, like the
Oh,
giant, like the one with the giant bell that you have to like knock down.
right. Was that a tomb though? Did you get anything at the end of that?
I don't know.
Because the way I see it, the tombs are where there's the thing at the end. You know, you open the chest, you get the chest, blue, it glows, and you go whoa. Or I guess Laura goes whoa.
Does she?
No, that was just my rendition.
Your
What could be?
whoa, in your voiceover dub of Tomb Raider,
Yeah,
she goes whoa.
yeah, my head canon. You know, uh, that's what you would do.
She yells Sam in a fake British accent and goes whoa.
Sam, whoa. Exactly. Yeah, I can imagine it right now. They should have just found me as a 12-year-old and gotten me for the voice acting.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like we're changing the direction entirely. We need this
Yeah.
12-year-old boy to voice Laura for all three games.
Exactly.
We can have nobody else.
Mm-hmm. No one else. The combat of the game is fun. I don't know if I can say it's like stands out in any way. It's just combat. But I liked
It's
it.
enough to keep the moment to moment interesting,
Yeah.
where the set pieces are fun to engage with. There's a couple really cool areas
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that you get to go through.
They
Like
do have some.
what's his name? The fight with Grimm, where you're helping out.
Oh, the shanty town.
The
Oh,
shanty
yeah.
town is a really fun one.
Shanty town is wild. And that's also when you get fire arrows, which I like when they I don't know, I don't think they do it too much in this game, but at least they do give you some extra options of things you can do with like your bow, cuz that's like your main, cuz you get the fire arrows, those are cool. And you also get the rope arrows eventually. That's their way of locking progression to some things. But yeah, the shantytown was cool. There was a lot there. You had the endurance you eventually get to go back to.
That was
Every
a fun
I
little section.
My favorite spots was anywhere it was the ruins of like Himiko's old palace or stuff like that.
Mm.
I Those places were the most interesting to me. Though you also had like a mine at some point, because I remember there being a puzzle there that I had I spent quite a bit on. uh, I'm trying to
I don't know, I
remember
like
other.
running around all the outside sections where like it has the moment where it's like, wow, look at this really cool landscape we've crafted, and it like stops you.
Yeah, yeah, it is neat. Every
And
time,
zipping down over the towns and
that is something they know.
over
When
the
they know they've
forests.
got like a moment where they're like, "Whoa, look at this thing," and they go and show it, and you're like, "Whoa, yeah." Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Like climbing the tower, the radio tower. Holy shit, that was crazy. It was a radio tower, right? Yeah,
Yeah, because you're going up to top to
yeah.
fix it so you can call in for help.
Mm-hmm. You get to the top and it like, ooh, ooh,
It's moments like
yeah.
that where I'm reaffirmed in my fear of heights. Where I'm like, yeah,
Like, oh
I would
yeah, this
never have done
is
that.
fucking terrifying. And it's just another day for Lara Croft.
Except this is the first time she's ever had to do this, and
True.
she's like, yeah, I'll just nail it.
I'll just
Don't worry about it.
one
I'm
time.
Laura Croft.
Look, just gotta.
That is the whole thing. I want at every difficulty, she's like, I have to do it. And
I
I would have
have
given up,
to.
I think. I
No,
don't.
it's crazy. And then, uh, yeah. What was also really fun, not just that stuff, but every time they had like, okay, we're gonna do a big moment where like you're running through something or you gotta climb through it, and it's like this whole sequence. That's also when I think the traversal stuff can shine as long as the game doesn't decide to screw you over in that moment. Because
When the
I,
traversal works, it's fantastic.
oh yeah,
When it's just one of those things, like it might not work 5 times, but those 5 times are annoying enough to kind of affect how I feel about the traversal
yeah,
as a whole.
because I remember a sequence. It was where you first like encounter the Oni, and you don't really encounter them personally, I think, but you're like running across the bridge as it like falls apart and it's all crazy. You're jumping and it's a pure Tomb Raider moment. But when it like first started out, I don't remember what happened. I don't know if I had realized it had already spit me out into the gameplay. It just like it didn't connect, or like it wasn't letting me run initially, I think is what happened. It like just took a moment to like sort itself out. So I ended up just falling behind and just falling with the bridge, and there's nothing I could do about it. I was like, oh,
There
okay,
are a
that's
couple
annoying.
times where there's this uncertainty of like how quickly it wants you to get out of the cutscene. Because there's a
Yeah.
moment where you're not sure, because it does the whole thing where it's like, wow, the difference between gameplay and cutscene is non existent. Look at that transition. But because
Yeah.
it's non existent, I can't tell exactly when I need to start interacting with the game.
No, for real. It's so funny. I even have this moment where I'm like, it was in the shanty town. I want to say, I don't actually remember when in the shanty town, but you're running away from a helicopter, I think. I don't know. There's a missile at some point. But I had clearly like fallen behind where they wanted me to be. And so like as I'm getting ready to like do the final jump off the like falling shantytown buildings and like stick myself into a rock wall and start climbing up, like a missile hits the thing, completely stops my movement. So as I go to hit the jump bar, I don't jump. And you just watch me like fuck. You just watch me walk off the building and fall to my death. I'm just sitting there like, what the hell? Like I was sprinting the whole time, or at least trying to. Whoa, hold on. That's another thing. There was no sprinting mechanic in the game, right?
No,
Unless you were in, I don't even think in one of
I don't think
those
was
things you couldn't sprint. I don't think.
the temptation to load up the game and check. I don't know. I played on with a controller on PC, so
No,
I
okay.
don't know if
There
like
wasn't.
I just
I'm
like subconsciously clicked in left stick, or if it had like the controller, like if you push it a little bit, you go slow, and if you go like full tilt forward, you start running. I don't remember.
Oh, maybe I'm stupid. I
I
felt like there
I
wasn't
feel like
sprinting.
there was a sprint, but I don't know.
Maybe
I feel like there was.
you might be right. Dang it. I don't know. I just felt like the entire time I was playing, I was always moving so slow. Like the sprint was never. Maybe I am going
She's not
crazy.
extremely fast.
No, it always
Like
feels like
it's
a
not.
jog.
It feels like the in
And I
between where
do
like I feel
feel
like I was
like
going a
they
little bit fast.
also control it sometimes where her sprinting gets really fast during like certain moments, like where stuff is falling apart and you gotta get out of dodge. Versus like, okay, you're just kind of in an open world instance. Just run around and like she's just doing like a casual jog as her run. I think that might be it. I don't know. I can't remember now. I don't know. I just in my head I have this like understanding of my time playing the game where I'm like, man, I feel like I'm never moving fast enough. I feel like I'm just not running. And it was the same thing with dodging cuz all you could do to dodge was like your awkward little stumble crawl on the ground for like a half second thing that Laura does, which
Yeah.
is miserable because that's all you can do. You just spam that. So you're like, oh, I gotta dodge, I gotta dodge. Stumble, 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 stumble. And you're like, she's gotta get up and reset, stumble, stumble, stumble. It's like, oh dear God, please. Laura, throw yourself behind cover, for God's sake. But, you know, what do I know? I've never been in a life or death situation before. I have to trust the
This is true.
expert on this
Maybe
one.
she is the expert. This is her
Yeah.
first encounter, but she,
Mm-hmm.
did better than I think most people, given how many people are stuck on that island.
Given how many people are stuck on that island and what she had to go up against, it's insane. Yeah. No, something I do know about, and I'm not wrong on this at all. There is
No, you're
no
certain about this one?
there's no manual stealthing. There's no button to crouch. You can't crouch unless there are enemies, and then Laura will automatically crouch and engage in stealth. And that's super weird to me. I don't think I've ever played a game that does that.
You are the
Where
stealth
there
expert
is
here.
stealth,
So
but you're not allowed to access it until you're up against enemies, and the character will just automatically crouch for you. Until obviously your cover is blown, and then it's all bets are off.
I mean, I guess that's weird, but I also associate that with like you'll have like open world games where they're like when you're in the tall grass, you'll auto crouch, and that's the
True.
equivalent of that to me. But I'm also the number one stealth hater, so
Yeah.
it makes no difference to me really.
It all sucks.
Stealth to me is like I'll put up with it, but only for a little bit. I will do the
Yeah.
bare minimum to stay in stealth. And sometimes I get bored and I do things that are probably not the best for staying in stealth. And my cover's blown. I'm like, oh, how
Oh
sad. I get
no.
to play the way I wanted to play to start with.
What, me throwing a grenade put me out of stealth? Ah, I couldn't have seen that coming. Guess I
There's
have
a
to
lot of
take
games where
out
I'm
my
like,
big gun.
that's essentially how it goes. I'm like, oh, I have this thing in my inventory. I might as well use it. And then everybody's like, what was that? And I'm like,
Yeah.
who could have
No,
seen this coming?
I'm a sucker for stealth. Like, even if it's not a stealth oriented game, like, I will still find myself defaulting to stealth because there's something I enjoy about being able to clear like a room of enemies without ever having to get into like full blown combat. They never knew. Oh, it's just it can be easier sometimes than having to deal with 7 guys trying to shoot at you all at once. But
Sure.
like, I don't know. It's just, it gets me. Like, I remember, years ago when I was trying to 100% Dishonored 2, that was probably, oh, see, the problem with that is I wasn't just doing stealth, I was doing peaceful stealth.
Absolutely not.
That's some
The
of the hardest shit to do.
the day we play Dishonored, I'm getting the bad ending. Even if I want the good ending, I know myself, and I know there's no way. I'm
Yeah.
doing an entire game peacefully
No,
stealthy.
no, because like when you're trying to like do full stealth and not get caught once, like the moment you screw up, you have to restart. Like that's it.
Oh,
You're fucked. And it's like, oof. When you're just doing stealth and it's like if you fuck up, okay, whatever, then like it's whatever, it's fine. That sucks, but I'll get through this engagement somehow. If I have to use some extra health potions or something. Oof, no. Anything else? Oof. Ugh. Oh. Yeah. No, stealth is interesting in this game. And I enjoyed stealthing in this game, getting around, setting stuff up, taking out my bow and popping everybody in the head, running up, stabbing them with an ice pick from behind.
yeah,
They're
my gameplay will not be like that. My gameplay is mainly me shooting
violence.
people.
Yeah.
Truly, there's a little bit of stealth where you get to the area and she's already like crouching up against something, and I'm like, I guess I will stealth for the first quarter of this battle.
Yeah, and then just go. No, because I know I have at least. Now there are gonna be so many clips. I have like one full clip where it's just night stealth, where I'm like, okay, here's a camp of guys. I'm just one by one. I'm gonna pick them off, and I will be as patient as I need to be. I will wait. I will sit there for like a minute for things to line up perfectly.
I give it maybe 30 seconds before I get a little antsy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could just, in the time it would take for me to line all this up, I could have finished this encounter.
Mm-hmm. There is a part of me that does wish that you could go like way crazier with melee as Laura, like just full like fucking crazy berserker. I've got 2 ice picks and you're gonna fucking feel them, rather than just like her set standard, like very much, get done with the animation cue, swing, 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 and then you just restart with the same swing, 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 swing. I don't know. It'd be cool to have it
No,
be a little more fluid and like you could just straight up. But
the
hey,
melee is
being able to
awkward
just stealth
unless you're
from behind is easy.
like the dodge counter thing where you dodge and it's like, oh, hit
That was huge.
Y.
When you get those perks, oh, the dodge counter is awesome. That really does let you build on it to some extent. That makes melee way more viable as an option. Though to be fair, like most of the time you should just be afar shooting them with a bow or gun. But people will inevitably come running up to you or you'll get in a close quarters situation. Yeah, being able to, if you perfectly dodge and then you can just cap them in the neck or something with your ice pick. Oh, made things easier, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I liked all the little sections. I liked what they would do with the cameras sometimes. Like I brought this up in our last attempt of the recording, but in the beginning section where she gets kidnapped by Mr. Psychopath who's definitely trying to help her, for sure, for real, for real.
He's just got her best
I
intentions at
promise.
heart.
Yeah, best intentions
That's
at
why
heart.
she
Oh yeah.
was tied up to the ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, don't question it. It's just their hospitality.
They do things a little different. You don't have to judge them.
Yeah, keep an open mind. But yeah, you would there was a section where it's like a tunnel that's been like partially mostly flooded to the point where like it's just Laura in her head, like barely sticking up. She's like going through with her torch. And they do have a couple other moments that are kind of like this, where it's like a set thing where you're like kind of going through, like you're doing like Tomb Raidy dungeon crawling stuff almost, where like the camera like is brought in and it's like super close and claustrophobic, at least in this moment. And I really enjoy that stuff. I feel like that really exemplifies at least this revamped Tomb Raider. I'm not going to speak for the OG Tomb Raiders
Yeah,
because
there are a
it
lot
was
of
just
camera
fun.
shots that really sell the like this. She's surviving in this horrific situation.
Yes, this is
Like when
gritty
she
survival.
falls all the way down to this like river that's like surrounded by like viscera and blood, and she like peeks her
Yes.
head out, and they're like, "Is she dead? No, we got to
Is
go
she?
down there and check."
It's
And she
so good.
slowly raises her
She,
eyes above the water.
yep. And starts like, you know, waiting, not waiting, but like she's still partially submerged in the blood water shit, through and gets out. It's so good. I wish they could play into that more. Or they did play into that more. I wish they did. Though, I guess they did enough. Or like there was, because I mentioned the one of the tombs was at the chapel place in the shanty town. There, when you walk in there to go explore it, you get they have like the snare. You get pulled up by the rope trap. I don't know
Yeah,
if you triggered that.
yeah,
That
you get
was
hung
super
upside down.
cool.
You have to
Yeah, and you gotta
fend them
like
off.
fend off the wave of enemies with your pistol hanging upside down, and you're like, it just starts. So like you're up there, and you can hear the guys being like, "We got her," and you're like, "Oh shit, where are they?" And you're all disoriented. You're like turning around trying to find where the door is to the building you just walked in to like shoot them. That was cool.
That was a fun section.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if there's anything else
I mean, there's like the
like.
moments you get cornered by the wolves. I think that happens early on.
Yeah, right
I
in the
definitely didn't die the
beginning
first time,
when
but
you step on the trap and you gotta shoot.
by a
The
bear
moment,
trap, and I'm like, Jesus.
yeah, the minute I stepped on that trap, I was like, okay, all right, like, and they're what are they gonna have a wave of? And then I heard the wolves. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I don't
You're
want to
like,
do that.
please.
I was like, damn
All she
it.
did was take a nap, and
And
now
I,
this
I
is what's
had to
happening.
lock in. She took a nap. She shouldn't have. Again, Laura can't catch a break. Croft. She should have known better.
Uh,
I feel, especially with this first game, I feel like that's just it really is like, yeah, the Laura, I mean, again, Survivor truly, she's going to become a survivor. And it's rough. She goes through so much. Literally, I was watching one of the cutscenes again, refreshing myself. It's right after some big stuff, and like her and Sam are talking, and like you're looking at Laura, she's fucking scratched, gashed, mud, blood all over her. She looks so fucking tired. I she's been in a world of pain. She's killed dozens of people at this point. So many people. At least one bear, at least a few
at
wolves,
least one bear.
at least one bear. It's insane. She's fallen down so many
So many,
times. At
so
this
many times.
point, she has done. She has. What was it? Rogue medicine. She's done rogue medicine on herself, heating up the tip of an arrow to close her wound she ignored for like 5 hours.
She got hour one.
Yeah, that she got hour one when she fell like 20 or so feet and landed on a piece of rebar and then immediately got up and yanked that fucker out.
And then just whatever. She's like, I gotta leave now.
And she's like, I gotta go. No time to patch it up. I gotta go. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's possible, but I feel like if you have a fucking rebar sized hole in your gut, okay, like side stomach, I feel like you gotta take care of that. I feel like that's a big hole. I feel like blood is gonna keep coming out. I don't know, but built
Yeah, but
different.
Laura Croft is built different. Yeah.
Yeah. She's a Croft. She was meant for this.
She is a
So
Croft.
she's a Croft.
Indestructible,
And
apparently. She got like 3
yeah,
concussions in the first hour and a half.
literally. No, yeah, it'd be it's if they ever make a game where it's like, oh, we're gonna play through her dad's stuff, it would be the same thing because you're a Croft. That's just what you do. That was that man's life. Clearly, he was going off on adventures, getting 13 concussions a second, and getting at least 2 gaping like wounds in his body every time he went off. Clearly, that's why there's an expectation for Laura to be able to do these things.
I mean, that's just a standard trip to the grocery store for him. So
It's just an average day going to the grocery store. Oh, what? You thought he was living into his old age, Laura? No, he couldn't catch a break either.
you don't understand. This is what it means to be a Croft. Archaeology, a footnote.
Archaeology is a footnote in our lives. Truly. Ooh, on the archaeology note, that does lead me to the one aspect of the gameplay that I find, because you have the tombs, which are optional, that you can go and do. And then you have the two other, one of which I like, the other of which I despise, which is you can find artifacts, which are neat, and then you can find geocaches, which are fucking stupid. Oh, and I guess you can also find documents and like people writing stuff down. I don't know if there are any audio logs specifically, but there were definitely like notes and letters, which were also cool. You know, get it. Let us know more of the story through that. I guess the geocaches, God, it's one of those things where it's just. Why don't you go run around the map and go find the 7 little things, you little ah. It's just fetch quest stuff. It's fetch quest stuff. Except
Yeah.
it's not a quest.
There
It's just go collect a thon for nothing.
are a bunch of collectibles that are, from my perspective, there for like the all the achievement.
Yeah.
You got half of them, you got all of them achievement pops, which is fine, but this is not the this specific entry, or at the very least so far in Tomb Raider, I'm not really feeling like I need to go grind out getting all the achievements.
No, no. I have no desire to go collect like 100 geocaches for 1,000 scrap. I think the other thing is like kind of a neat secret if it's your thing. I think they give you like artwork or something. I don't
Mm.
know. Cool. Um, I'm fine. I don't need to go find 100 geocaches for that. Finding the artifacts is cool because every time you find the artifacts, and this is probably my favorite part, Laura always talks about it. Like you get the voice actor actually talking about it. That's cool.
Yeah, a little blurb
It's
about the artifact and what she thinks about it.
yeah, it's one of those little moments where it's like they can actually enforce like, oh yeah, by the way, I know you're watching Laura become like a a survivor who like kills people for a living in real time, but she does do archaeology and she does really like it and think it's cool, by the way. This is like a main character trait, just so you remember.
That is how she ended up on the island. Just don't forget.
That is why we ended up on Yamatai in the first place. But there is a weird thing where like you can turn around and inspect the artifacts. I don't know if I'm going crazy or if I'm just shit at it, but sometimes when turning it, you'll find like a little thing that gets a little extra. You know, that it expands on what this artifact is or what it was meant for or some little factoid about it. I don't know if it's every artifact though, because I swear to God, I will be twisting and turning and looking at every crevice of these things to try and trigger it, and nothing triggers. And I know
I don't think it's all of
sometimes when
them.
it triggers, I have difficulty getting it to go off sometimes. So yeah, maybe it's not every time, but holy crap, does it I just can't tell if when there's something there or not. So I'm like I'm sitting there for 2 minutes like am I just not finding the right angle, or am I I don't know. I don't know. So that can be a little frustrating trying to figure out if this is a artifact you can interact with more, or if it's just an artifact. Yeah. I don't know. It's cool. And like there's a whole collection. You can go and find them all. I didn't do that because I I was trying to get through the game. And I also didn't really have a desire to go backtracking through places I'd been already. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
it kind of
lie.
wants you to. Like, it gives
Just
you like this little push to be like, hey, you could go back to other locations and kind of pick everything up.
Mhm.
But I never felt the need to.
Yeah, and it feels weird to me to like have made that choice when it's like the story is you're stuck on an island, like Sam's been kidnapped, you're trying to save everybody. There's a hostile group on this island and some weird shit is going on, and like you don't have time to be like chilling necessarily. But like, hey, by the way, make sure you go find some geocaches and some artifacts and go backtrack a little bit. It's like I like it's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. It is weird though. I don't know. I expected, I guess, yeah, it goes against what I would have expected from this game, which is more of a very linear sort of, not that it isn't linear, but like not going back to places, more of a linear, just keep going, keep going, keep going until you get to the end. Almost something like the first Metro. Like if I had to guess what kind of game it would be like, I'd be like, oh, Metro 2033. Like, you go to Riga, you're not going back to Riga. You're going to the next place. You find yourself in
Oh, like
another
a
station, you go running around up top. Like you're not going to go back up top to the same place to go find a geocache. That's not how the game works. You're just there to get through the section, and that's it.
I don't know. I get it in terms of like for the people that are gonna go through and get all the collectibles and all the achievements and whatnot, it's
Yeah.
convenient to be able to just be like, I'm gonna pull up the list of all the collectibles. I'm gonna go find them.
Uh-huh.
But on like a just going through the game level, it's kind of like a weird. I have no reason to go back, and
Yeah,
it's kind of off-putting.
there's just that slight disconnect. Now, I suppose talking about disconnect with the story, I kind of want to get into the story now because there's a lot. Because I feel like so far, what we've got, like, this feels like a perfect. As somebody who doesn't know, let me qualify this statement. As somebody who doesn't know shit about Tomb Raider before playing this game, I knew nothing. I had no love for this series, no love for Lara Croft. I didn't know anything. As my first time getting introduced to this, playing this game, I feel like maybe it's not the perfect execution of it, but like this is the best way in my mind to introduce it story wise. Like it's such a perfect little contained Tomb Raider story to me because you're on the ship, you're on island, and you're always on the island, and it's all, I don't know. It feels right to me. It feels very
I like how
Tomb
the
Raider.
story's like laid out and everything. I don't. It's gonna be really interesting when I find the time to go play the remastered trilogy. I think to
The
see how I
originals.
feel about yeah this as like a rendition of Laura Croft because I also haven't really seen anything about the originals. Like I've seen somebody do a speed run, I think a couple times, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
don't know.
because I imagine what they are is it's probably like going through again, probably actually going through like it would probably be. mm, Wow, I'm really not finding words. Because I imagine what it is it's the same kind of idea. You have your puzzles, you have your tombs, and you have your action.
Yeah,
But the difference is going to be these games are actually probably going to be way more linear than what the Tomb Raider we played is. Like, you'll go through a ruin, you won't be able to go back to that ruin. You're not going to be in this like area. Though I could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe they were going crazy back then. Just make me intrigued, though. Oh, just looking at like screenshots of the game is very interesting. Apparently, you get to fight a lion. I wonder how much of an emphasis they have on story. That'd be interesting. Because I wonder just how much story they would be
I don't know, maybe we'll add it to
doing.
the list at some point. But
Yeah.
this
No, for
story
sure.
as like a origins of Laura Croft becoming this like insane explorer combat expert
Yeah.
is interesting. I initially especially wasn't expecting the kind of tone that it had
Mm-hmm.
of like Laura's like, this is the worst experience I've ever had in my life, and I'm being forced to kind of go through these momentous, like, I had to kill somebody for the first time.
Yeah, it's rough too, because like it's not even you don't even the first time she does something like that, it's not even actually killing a person, it's having to kill the deer. It's like her first taking a life, which is interesting, getting to see that, and then following it up with, oh, and by the way, this is the first time she kills somebody. And it's like these two, like damn near back to back, these two huge moments for her after, a shipwreck and having to run away for her life from some psychopath and watching him get squished in real time. It's very interesting. Okay, they really, yeah, the reaction, it's like oof to watch, because like, she, man, and they really play out the guy's death. I went back, I was watching like the first couple clips I had recorded, and like I was watching that scene specifically. Like, she doesn't just shoot him, she like blows part of his fucking head out. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't like hit him in the middle of the face. It's like the upper portion. So like there's viscera showing, there's blood. He's like still kind of partially alive for a few seconds as he's like her. It's brutal. Like, it's fucking crazy, especially for your first time killing somebody. And Laura understandably has the reaction I think most of us would have, which is kind of low key, like, not, I think she has a moment of a little bit of like hyperventilation almost, and then like she's just throwing up, which, like, yeah, no shit. She's like right there too. Like, she blew the guy's head off like right in front of her face. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a
It really
crazy
does
journey
set the
to
tone.
see her go on, especially when I've like seen a little bit of the other games, and she's like, yeah, let me just backflip and pop a couple shots with my dual
Yeah, pop,
pistols.
pop, pop. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's an insane shift change from what
True. Yeah,
I
because
thought Tomb Raider was going to be.
yeah, because I guess I did expect a little more of like a, if I had to put words to it, maybe something more of a like. I guess this is also me just not really understanding what establishing Laura's origin would mean, because I look at Tomb Raider, I'm like, okay, so we're gonna get like her in her established, like she's probably some like witty. I mean, take the basic stock standard. You have a witty protagonist who does daring and dashing stuff, and they've got their guns, yada yada yada. I mean, they're you find them everywhere. I'm looking at you, Nathan Drake. Um, but no, yeah, it's interesting because, yeah, Laura is just fresh faced. This is probably my first really big expedition. I don't know. They don't give a sense that she's been around the block at all yet. This feels like her first major. She's probably been doing stuff, but nothing crazy, I imagine. I'm curious about that. Yeah, I wouldn't know. But yeah, most of the game is. I mean, what would we say this for? No, it's rough. Man, and they lose people too. 2 people. 3.
It is.
3 something.
There is this weird part of me that feels like there's too many characters in this game for how long it is. It's like 15. I don't think it's 15. I think I beat it in 10 hours.
Yeah, like 10 to 13 hours. I know I was 13.
I beat it in a little shy of 11 hours.
Dang.
There
Quicker than
are,
me.
7 characters in this whole game, not counting like
Are we talking just main
Matthias, the big bad.
characters? So
Part for
excluding
like
villains?
crew, the people
The
that were
crew, yeah,
on the
'cause
ship.
it's Laura, Jonah, Alex, Reyes, Roth, Grimm, asshole, what's his name?
Whitman.
Whitman. Yeah, those are like the 7 main people. I don't think there's anyone else outside of that, really. No, yeah, it's those 7. It is kind of a crazy number, considering, yeah, the length. Though, yeah, I don't know. I guess for me, I never. It is a crazy amount. I don't know if it was necessarily too much. I don't
I
know.
feel like you really get time to connect with Raw.
Yeah,
Sam,
Roth.
partially because she's the one taking all the video that you flash back to.
All the video you flash back to, and like the main reason you do have the shit you do on the island.
And to me, that feels like it. Like those are your 2 main people you get to know. And everybody else kind of ducks in and out of the story a little bit.
Yeah, like they're definitely meant to be important to some degree, but they just don't have enough time. And the way the story is structured, you just can't fully get that picture. Because they try to, yeah, you have like Sam's video recordings while they're on the Endurance. I don't remember how many times those happen. I think there's a
It's
couple
pretty
times.
frequently, I feel like.
Is it? I guess it might be, yeah. You get at least a few. I remember. I don't know. I can't distinguish between them, unfortunately.
There's enough to
Though
give you
I
like
feel
a
like
vague sense of character for everybody who was on the ship. Like you have the ones where with
exactly.
Grimm where he's talking about his adventures, and I think that one
Yeah.
cuts into the you find out essentially then that like Reyes and Roth had a thing going.
Right, because yeah, they look away down the hall and they're like going into yeah.
It's
Yeah.
essentially the only way you're establishing connections between characters. That's the only
Basically.
way you see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine, but I don't feel like it's enough for how much they're trying to sell me on this emotional attachment to these characters.
Yeah, especially when we start later on after we get through, this story, we'll also be talking about some of the comics that tie into this. It's kind of a whiplash. A little bit. No,
Yeah,
it's
that
definitely
part's
interesting.
like I don't wish they had a smaller cast. I just wish that there was more time with them, but it's like
Exactly.
where would you fit that in really?
Yeah, where do you fit that in like the crazy 48-hour adrenaline fueled like Yamatai experience? Ticket for one, Laura Croft. Have fun.
So it's a little unfortunate. It's probably story-wise probably the weakest point.
Mm-hmm.
Is just
the depth, the
establishing these characters as like fully fleshed out beings that I should care about.
For sure. I almost feel like sometimes maybe they don't. I guess it's good enough. I wonder if I'm just being nitpicky at this point. If I'd say it sometimes almost doesn't feel enough for like what I'll say is the main trio, which is Sam, Roth, and Laura. Because you definitely get more of those 3 because Roth and Sam are much more like important for Laura at this point in time. But I don't know, because like you get some of the video recordings. Obviously, every video recording has some interaction with Sam and Laura, I think. and a couple of them are directly Sam and Laura, and you get to see quite a bit of that. And of course, you see them interact a couple times throughout the game, the story. And then you have a good chunk section of the game where Roth and Laura are sort of interacting with each other, though not a lot in person. I
At the first
take
section, there is, but
yeah.
clearly because he dies pretty early. I feel like within
Yeah,
the whole of the story, he dies pretty quick.
I guess he does. I almost wanted to say it's midway, but I guess it's a little earlier than that, huh? Because getting to
It's
the
probably a little
end climax of the game, a little after, you say?
No, I think you're right. I think it's probably a little bit before halfway.
Yeah, because that happens, and it's a whole bunch of stuff. Because then to get to the climax of the game, it's a little bit of a windy path. It's not as straightforward as you would expect it to be necessarily. Because what's crazy to me is I'm pretty sure the going back to the endurance and all of that happens after Roth, which was wild to me. I hadn't specifically placed them in my head in a timeline, but the endurance and Alex is afterwards because they're trying to repair the boat, and then there's stuff in between that because you got to go to this shanty town and all this other stuff. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, because it's what Grim first.
Yeah, Grim dies in the shanty town.
And then it just snowballs essentially.
Yeah, and then it snowballs for the next little bit because it's Grim, and then Roth valiantly dies for Laura, and then Alex valiantly dies for the crew. I think that's the final official death. That's the death toll. Well, there is Whitman, I suppose. I don't even remember when that is. It's near the end of the game. Closer, right?
It is near the end because he's approaching the cult group. I don't remember why. Because he has
I
the
remember
other guy,
why.
Matthias has Laura.
Yeah, Matthias, does he?
Because I think they're following behind Whitman. And Matthias sends Whitman forward to be like, oh, you convinced them to let us pass or whatever. And then they gun down Whitman.
Right. Was it? I
think so.
No, it was when they were interacting with the Storm Guard, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think at the bridge as they're going to the Storm Guard.
Yeah, because
Whitman is talking and yapping about something.
Yeah, trying to yap because he somehow gets it in his head that he's so much smarter and superior than everyone else on the island, that he can educate these uncivilized idiots or something, and that he'll get in control and be able to get off the island without dying or something. I don't know. You find one of his journals or something, and bro's clearly gone off the deep end at this point. He's not thinking rationally anymore. He's just trying to do whatever gets him out alive, whether that be sacrificing the rest of the crew for it or not.
Yeah,
and it's been clear that that he's been a little bit sus this entire time, because the first encounter you have with Matthias's group specifically, bro immediately folds.
It's
so quickly.
Whatever your initial reading of Whitman is probably correct when you're playing. He gives her up so quick. He's got a gun on one of the 4 people surrounding them. And Laura's like,
yep,
do something.
Do it.
Literally anything. And he puts down the gun. He's like, Laura, just do whatever they want.
Laura, what could they possibly do, Laura? Yeah, and then since
Laura's
I guess,
are you insane? Why would you give up the gun?
It's crazy. And of course they immediately get knocked out and it doesn't go well.
But
yeah, you keep seeing him in and out in these weird situations, oh, I managed to get away. They were chasing me, but no one's near. And he's like, I guess I must have lost them. There were some shots. It's okay, Whitman, sure. And then when they're in the palace and Laura's saving Sam, I think the first time, and she's like, Whitman, watch the hall, warn me if they're coming. And then she comes out and he's like, I couldn't do anything, and Matthias is there with him or something. I forget the exact specific like line of events that happened there. But it's like, okay, bro, it's just going to keep not being on the endurance crew's side at this point. Like he's a little rat. That's what he is. But it is what it is.
His death was probably most cathartic, where you're like, yeah,
it was very
deserved.
cathartic. Yeah, it's like, oh, thank God. Now we can move on. Now we can go get Matthias.
Shock he lasted that long.
It's crazy. Look, what being a little suck up will do. Make you live longer than you should.
Honestly, should have died when he put the gun down.
Yeah, should have died with it. They immediately should. That would have been crazy. No, it is a shame because it's interesting because every time, I will say, now that I think about it, it's wild. Every time somebody dies, it's not just like a random thing. They're doing it specifically so everyone else or somebody in particular can live. That's kind of nice, I guess. The sort of nice that's not going to help me sleep better at night, knowing that these characters are dead. But, it's because like Grimm, like a fucking badass, just takes a guy down with him off a cliff, basically.
Takes out like 2 people. And then
he just tackles that one guy off the edge. Goes over. Yeah. It's insane. Bro put up a good fight. He was crazy.
Honestly, there was a part of me that was like, maybe he's not dead.
But, I was hoping. I was like, they didn't just kill him off like that. He was so cool. He just did that. That was awesome. Yeah, and then Roth, as the pseudo father figure after her original kind of not really ever there father dies, he sort of takes over. But yeah, he goes crazy too, helicopter this is like after they managed to save Sam the first time and some guy on a helicopter has come in to rescue them after the radio tower. There's a whole thing. Roth, they crash in the helicopter and Roth's the only one who like gets up because, he's just built different, more so than Laura in that moment, I guess. And he's like, shoot people. He's got his dual pistol, which the moment you clock he has 2 pistols is like, you go, oh, you're like, oh, double pistol. Oh, is that where she gets it from? And you have this whole scene. It's crazy. He shoots all, he's picking up Laura and more guys come and a dude throws an axe. You're like, oh no, what is he gonna do? Motherfucker spins around and takes that shit in the back. And then he kills the rest of them. Like a fucking G. And then he dies. But he says some nice words before he goes, and he gives Laura his pistols. And that's the moment you go, oh yeah, okay. Laura's about to come in, like, sort of into her prime, at least in this game. Like, this is the shifting moment where it's like, okay, you've been surviving. Now it's time to lock in. And then she gives away one of the pistols to Sam.
And you don't see the dual pistols again till the very end of the game.
Yeah, you're like, okay, there's still the rest of the game. And then, you get to the end of the game. It's time to fucking put Matthias in the ground. This motherfucker's gonna die for kidnapping Sam and trying to put some random ass fucking spirit ghost bitch into her body, okay? This is fucked up. And you got the dual pistol, you go bam, 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 until it's empty. And Laura keeps trying to pull the trigger because she's fucking done with this guy's shit. All right. And you're like, yo, finally, double pistol. Don't hold your breath, guys. That's all I'm going to say for now. Don't hold your fucking breath.
Oh my God. I was like, nice man, this is it.
This is it.
This is her moment. The dual pistol we've been waiting for. Her iconic gun combo. Just a little tease.
Just a little tease. Just a little tease. Right at the end.
End of game.
It's fine.
This is what you've been waiting for.
Laura and Sam at the end, 2 very good roommates that Laura has risked life and limb to save, gone above and beyond what normal human beings would do. At this point, Laura has killed, again, dozens of people for Sam, has gone through things that are horrific and crazy and just crazy. And then they hug. And that's it. And very, very good friends. Now, if you do read some stuff, there was originally, they were like, oh yeah, no, they were definitely going to kiss because fucking obviously. But no, it didn't happen. They changed it for dumb reasons, I'm sure. It is what it is. What can you do?
Other than be sad about it now, nothing.
Yeah, I can just be sad. What could have been? They're just really good friends.
Just the best of friends.
Till really all this time. Yeah, really close. Live together.
The amount of times Laura approaches a group of people and Sam is part of the group and just runs up and goes, Sam!
Sam! Like, Laura! Sam! Laura! Sam, no! Oh my god, it's so fucking funny. It's become a part of my life now. The amount of times it happens, because there's so many points. There's a few points where like Laura comes so close to catching up with Matthias and saving Sam, but like a destroyed bridge, you know, is what stands between them and she can't get over. Or he's on top of like a higher portion of a cliff and, you know, whatever. And they're just yelling each other's names as Matthias like drags Sam away. And it's like, okay, here we go. Yeah, them just yelling each other's names as really good friends. Sam! Yeah. I just do it randomly now sometimes.
Yeah, like 3 weeks of me hearing you just randomly. We'll be in a call and you just yell Sam. And
Sam! It's too
out
funny.
Of nowhere, unprompted.
I love it so much. I need more of it. They need to find every excuse to have Laura yell Sam's name.
I feel like if that was just the entirety of the next game, you'd be like, oh, it's 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Story was great.
Brought a tear to my eye.
Most of the dialogue was just Sam. The word Sam brought a tear to my eye. Yeah, that moment where she said Sam for the final time.
The emotion.
As the camera faded to black. The emotions, I could feel it. That was the most, you know, that was the rawest emotion Laura's ever shown when saying Sam. It was just a different tenor or whatever, a word for the... my joke's already falling apart. We're ending it now. It's done.
Cutting it off. You're done.
Yeah, putting an end to that. Oh my gosh, and before I leave out, our buddy Alex, his sacrificial death on the Endurance, he gets trapped trying to get some tools on his own because, you know, he wants to be the hero. Good for him. You know, I guess it makes a vibe because everyone's been watching Laura go absolutely apeshit during this entire game. And, or at least they haven't been watching her. I guess they vaguely know. I don't think any of them are truly aware of just how fucking crazy. They just see her walk up. Motherfucker has been through war. Like, that much is obvious.
She saved them. Alex, Jonah, and Reyes when they're in that cage. Yeah, because
they're in the cage. Okay, so they do know. Okay. Yeah, they know. And yeah, he gets trapped. Enemies are closing in. And he's like, oh, Laura, take the tools. I'm gonna fight a boom boom, does some pistol stuff, and the ship explodes, and it's very sad. Yeah. What was that one moment Alex has, the sus moment in the beginning of the game? I forget what it is.
It's a recording of Sam filming an interaction between Alex and Reyes. And they're like arguing about some issue on the ship. And at some point, he sees a photo of Reyes' daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, he says a bunch of stuff. And then her age comes up and she's like 14, 13, 14, something like that.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, never mind. Or something like that, to that effect.
Oh, yeah, no, that was, I was like, oh, no, we can't share a name if you're doing that.
Yeah, ooh. Misstep, a
we
stumble.
Can't have that happening. He says something where he's like, good one, Alex, or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like, okay. Nice shit. Yeah, he does some shit where he's like, I don't even remember. I wish I not only had the footage, but the audio of it, because I'm sure I probably don't have the footage, actually. I don't know. It's funny, though. Crazy stuff. Yeah, I guess he redeems himself. Crazy story. Very, yeah, nice story. Contained. They're stuck on the island. They get off the island. Himiko's crazy. The supernatural stuff, I didn't expect that from Tomb Raider. I don't know what I expected from Tomb Raider. I guess when I got like the gritty vibes, I was like, okay, this is gonna be gritty vibes then. And then they're like, yeah, by the way, spirit, soul, put in body, whoa, magic, or something.
I
The
expected it.
unexplainable. Yeah,
In
I
my
guess I
mind, the
didn't know.
Uncharted's, the Tomb Raiders, and the Fear effects sit on the
Mm-hmm.
same level of like they're going on a normal adventure, but there's something supernatural involved every
Oh,
single
I
time.
didn't know that.
I don't know if that's how the originals work, but that's in my mind. That's like the type of game they are.
Yeah. Look, I was looking up screenshots of the OG Tomb Raiders. She does fight at least one, like, four-armed with blades infused, like, Egyptian themed thing. So, yeah, that's probably been a thing since the beginning for the Tomb Raider series. So I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. And of course, this all falls in line with something that I think they don't mention too much, but there's clearly some. Actually, do they? Is there any real talk about like? Yeah, there's some talk about like what Laura's. Is there? I don't remember actually. I'm trying to remember how much they talk about like what the purpose of Laura's dad's like work was and what he was invested in finding.
I think
I
it's
don't know
just
if
a
they talk
general
about it too
catch-all,
much.
like the secrets of the world.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Then never mind then.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything overly specific, so much as like if it's out there, I want to find it and know about it.
Yeah, I guess they keep it vague enough. Which that she's definitely finding secrets, that's for sure. you, you know what kills me though? If we're kind of talking about characters and story stuff, fucking Reyes, the entire game, it's the funniest shit. She is so aggro towards Laura. It's crazy. Like I get like her. She's supposed to be like a very uh what do I say? Like a rough character. Blunt maybe would be a word for it. I don't know. She's the
Yeah,
very like badass sort of like I get shit done. I don't take shit character. And but yeah, she wants to get off the island. She's got a daughter to go back to. She doesn't have time for this shit. But the some of the just completely unwarranted shit she says towards Laura is crazy. She's like
I think there's a
after her.
note. I think somewhere in my notes is a section after Roth dies where
Mm. Yeah.
Reyes says something like, "This is all Laura's fault anyway," and I was like, "What is your deal?"
Yup.
Like, I get
Because it
it,
was Laura
right?
who pushed to go to Yamatai.
Well, that's why they're here.
Yeah.
like, like, I understand, right? Roth is
Sure.
dead. She had a whole thing with Roth. She has a
Mm-hmm.
daughter to go back to. There's a bunch of reasons why she would be upset at Laura, but I was also like, I literally saved you not that long ago.
Literally.
I saved your
Yeah.
life.
Saved your life. I've been doing crazy stuff this entire time. I've been fucked up.
Like, I don't want
Jonah's
to
chill.
hear it. Jonah's a cool guy.
Jonah's like the best. And we don't get enough from him in the first game. I feel. I guess we get enough. This is supposed to really be I guess this is a story that's supposed to be very solely focused on Laura. But
And I stand by. There's we really only get to know like Roth and Sam.
yeah, it would be nice to get to know people more and get to really see like the interactions and get to like just how, really build those connections because it's clearly meant to be important. And it's expanded upon later and it's like, "Oh, wait, no, it really was like crazy crazy important." And they just sort of relegated it.
Overall, I enjoyed the story. I think there are some rough patches, but like
Sure.
nothing overly dramatic that I was like, oh, it's ruined. I think throughout the whole time I was engaged and had a great time with the narrative that was going on.
Yeah, the entire time I played the game, I was vibing with it. I was like, this is cool. I'm having a fun time. We're chilling. I The more I think about it though, I don't know because I was talking about this yesterday, how like some of the stuff lines up, and I don't. If you dig into some of the details, I don't know how exactly some of the specifics of the story works, like the niche stuff. Because I was talking about like the time frame of like the Japanese getting to the island and building like a whole bunker and facilities and stuff, and how exactly that works with Himiko and all the weird stuff on the island. I don't know. I'm not going to question it though. It's Tomb Raider. Don't worry too much about it.
Yeah, there's a the quantity of people on the island is a little
It's crazy.
weird.
Yeah. Like I guess people are supposed to be washing up and all. Yeah, like I get it. And maybe even a little community was built. There was very clearly a community. The shantytown is huge.
Yeah, there's
Now
a
that I think about it, like
lot
there's clearly
happening on
meant
this
to be
island.
like several hundred people living out on this island. I don't know if they ever go into too much depth if it's just all survivors of shipwrecks that Matthias has pulled together,
I think it is. I
or
think that's
if there's more
literally
to it.
the entire quantity of people on the island. I think there's a couple things you can read.
Interesting. I'm trying to remember, was there ever any mention of people living on the island before Matthias? I almost feel like I remember reading something where they were like, yeah, there were locals here, but like we're we've raided their homes, and I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know. I might not have found the note you're talking about. I don't know.
Yeah. Beats me.
But there are a lot of people on this island. Like they mentioned the Bermuda Triangle, and I'm not sure. I can't remember if it was just like a comparison point between the type of storms they were seeing near the island and the Bermuda Triangle, or if it was a proximity thing. I don't remember why, but it's
Yeah.
weird to me that so many people have washed up here and it hasn't become like a noted talking point.
Okay, yeah, no, it was just the shipwreck survivors. Formed a society based on the worship of Sun Queen Himiko. And then you had the Storm Guard.
Yeah,
Yeah, what a time.
because there's notes talking about the process they have with like, or I guess Matthias has about making sure the people that are on the island will fall in line with what he has going on.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Burrow's got a whole strap.
Ruined
Devious.
by one Laura Croft.
Yeah, always needed. Yeah, throw a Laura Croft at that. It'll fall apart.
Honestly, throw her at anything and it will
Yeah.
be
Got
dealt
an
with
issue in
swiftly.
life? Get a Laura Croft. Laura can't catch a break, Croft. Very fun game though. Better because I was half worried that like, oh, this is such an old game and I don't know what the series is, that I might just play it and be like, it's just kind of dull or whatever. But no, I had fun. Cool game.
For a
Fun
game that's
time.
over 10 years old,
Yeah. It's opened a new
I ran well, had
fascination
a
I
good
didn't
time.
expect. I got way
There
more than I
were
bargained for, but it's a good thing.
a couple issues, but nothing crazy. I don't
Yeah.
know when we'll hit a game that I don't have a moment where I'm like, I've hit an issue and I don't know if I can fix it and keep playing. I think
I'm
the Ascent worked.
yeah.
Death Stranding had the
The
leaving the
one time
incinerator
you
problem.
issue had, yeah.
This one, there's a crate puzzle that is not difficult. Where you like you cut the rope or
Oh
whatever, you burn the rope,
yeah.
and the crate goes down, and it's supposed to smash into the wall, and you're supposed to climb onto the crate and leave.
Yeah.
For
You're
whatever reason, my crate just went through the wall enough where I couldn't climb on it.
it's so funny.
And there was
I
probably an
remember that.
hour where I was like, am I stupid? Why can't I
No.
solve this puzzle?
That's
And eventually
crazy.
I looked it up.
Yeah.
And it's just a problem that can happen. It gets stuck, and you have to turn on like VSync or something, triple buffering, quadruple
Really?
buffering, something to get
Probably
it to
triple.
stop doing that.
I don't know if
The
this
game is like
quadruple.
unplayable with that setting on. It's
Yeah,
obnoxious. You have to turn it off the second you're out of that area.
man,
But I'm like
that's
0 for
crazy.
3 on games running well.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Every single one of these games, you've had some kind of issue. That's so weird,
It's bizarre.
man. Yeah, look, I'm sure we'll find a game eventually that
One
doesn't
day
do that. Yeah, hopefully.
that there's
Now, I am intrigued if we will find a game where it's like, oh yeah, this is just breaks the game. Like you're fucked. I don't know. I feel like
hard
if that was a
stopped.
thing though, we would know coming into it because people would be talking about that and would be a known issue. Though I guess sometimes there can just be flukes. And for like a particular person, that's just you've got this issue now. Have fun.
Hopefully that doesn't happen because there's going to be a random post that's like, hey guys, the game has changed. We can't play it. Or we'll do like a partial review. I don't know.
I don't know, something.
Hopefully that doesn't happen though. So
Look, we'll cross
let's
that
not
bridge when we
speak it
get
into
there.
existence, please.
Yeah, let's
We're
not
already.
jinx ourselves.
It's already kind of sketchy so far that the Ascent ran. If you count like the 50 restarts we had to do.
Yeah. No, I ran fine outside of those restarts, basically. There's just the weird need to restart and crash all the time.
Oh my god. One day, they'll run flawlessly.
Yeah.
Now that we've covered the entirety of the game,
more or less.
what are the overall scores? What's the final verdict for Tomb Raider 2013?
I think I will go. I want to say an 8 out of 10. I think it's an 8 out of 10 for me. The only reason I hesitate is like I don't know how replayable this game is for me. I'm unsure. And that's usually for me, at least, a metric is if I'll replay a game or not.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I think I'm good enough sticking with an 8 out of 10. I like the game. It was fun. It was a good game.
Would you replay this game?
I don't know. I don't know if I would. That's the problem. Because I part of me almost was like this felt like it came this felt like it could have been like an instant classic for me in the way like Metro 2033 is. Because my mind kept going to that. Like I love Metro 2033 and like there's all this stuff and the amount of times I've replayed that game is sickening. Sickening. Okay.
I think you're like triple digits now for like a barely 10-hour long game.
Yeah. Definitely for the whole series. That's for sure. No, that's why I'm hesitating. Part of me is almost like, well, maybe it's a little lower than an 8 out of 10 for me. Maybe it's like a 7.5, just because it's like it's good, it's great, but it's not outstanding necessarily in any way. Like the things it does well, but it's not. I don't know. It's not necessarily breaking the mold. And I guess part of the problem is like I'm playing a game that's a decade old, over a decade old now, right? Like there's been so much stuff that's come out since I don't. It's not like this is a game that's pushing boundaries. If it was at the time it came out, so I think I'll just for my enjoyment of it. I think I'll say 8 out of 10. Yeah, that was a very lengthy way to get to my initial 8 out of 10, but yeah.
I
think
think
I
we have
liked it
similar
enough.
feelings about the game.
Yeah.
Right. I'm also sitting at like an 8 out of 10. I like it a lot. I think my very first note on my like document I've been using is like I kind of miss like these 15-hour or less kind of action games.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And this is that, but it's not really like it's not breaking the mold. I'm not like, wow, this is gonna replace like Uncharted, which I think two of
Yeah.
those games might be on my like top 10 games list.
Yeah,
But
it's
like
unfortunate.
it's a solid game.
Mm-hmm. It is a very solid game. It doesn't scratch the same itch for me the way a game, I'm just going to keep coming back to Metro, does for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like story just hits different. I don't know if it's the raw. I think it's all of it. I think, but story, world, and gameplay for me in Metro, it just all clicks so perfectly. Oh, but yeah, no, Tomb Raider. And again, Tomb Raider's a good game. You know, the story's good, gameplay's fun, the world you have, though it's rather contained. You're on Yamatai. We're not really getting into the greater world, really, or like the deep lore that Tomb Raider has to offer. But the building up the kind of world you expect Tomb Raider to be, that Laura is going to exist in, the stuff she's going to be doing and experiencing. In terms of that, it's great.
I do think it's like a great game with enough small little things that like drag it down just enough to keep
Mm-hmm.
it from being like truly something I'm like, yeah, it's one of my favorites. I'd replay it,
Yeah.
or at least say I'll replay it and not do that. But now it's time for why people are actually here.
Yes.
It's time to talk
Fucking
about
finally.
comic books and try out some Jaffa
Comic
Cake.
books and Jaffa cakes. I'm pulling out the
Long
Jaffa
awaited.
cakes now. I've been waiting. I don't know about you. Oh, live. This is live, people. Well, not for you. For us, it is. Obviously,
Live
what am
for
I
us.
saying? Yeah, live
Live
for
enough that I'm
us.
gonna have to
Look.
cut out all the crinkling that's gonna happen.
Okay. Smell on. Yeah, what is my first time having a Jaffa cake? They look fine. I was worried when I was doing my research for these.
Did
Like
research
what we're
on the
supposed,
Jaffa
yeah.
Cakes?
I was trying to find out which ones to get, what's expected.
Oh, sure.
And there was some interesting like I guess the OG brand, whatever it is from the UK, you damn Brits would know. Uh I guess their quality of Jaffa cakes have fallen down quite a
Oh no,
lot. I don't know. So like
these
I
aren't
was worried.
the
I was like, okay, I need to get good quality like Jaffa cakes. Like what would be Benton's seems to be good. Nobody was complaining about the Jaffa cakes from Aldi's. Yeah, we both sourced our
okay.
Jaffa cakes from Aldi's. So this seems to be a decent brand that people like. And for those of you who don't know, Jaffa cakes are these little cakes. Imagine almost like a cookie with chocolate on top, and like in the middle they've got a filling, like a jelly. Let's see. Here we go. We have a description right here. Soft baked cake in a sweet like jelly center. I don't know if it's jelly necessarily. It's some kind of like jelly jam thing topped in a rich dark chocolate. Now, I think the typical flavor seems to be orange, right? That's the one I see pop up all the time, but there's also like cherry and strawberry.
Orange is the only flavor I knew about before we did this. Before I dropped into
Yeah.
Aldi's and they had strawberry on the
Mm-hmm.
shelf. It smells aggressively of artificial orange.
Oh yeah. No. First bite is interesting. Wow. Nom, 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 nom. That's orange and dark chocolate. I guess we should, while we're eating these, get into why Jaffa cakes have become a thing with us playing Tomb Raider.
Yeah, why the
And
hell
that's
we're doing
because
this?
Tomb Raider 2013 isn't the only thing to exist. In fact, when this game came out, they also released, I think it's Dark Horse Comics, if I remember
Yeah, Dark
correctly.
Horse in collaboration with Square Enix.
Yeah, made some comics for Tomb Raider. Some of them are prequels to the first game, sort of setting up how everybody got onto the Endurance and why this expedition is a thing to find Yamatai. And then comics for afterwards in between the first and second game, and I think for some even later than that, because this is a whole trilogy. And something you learn in those comics, if you go and read them, is that Lara Croft is a fan of Jaffa cakes. This is just a known fact. to the point where on the Endurance in the prequel comics, like she's sneaking around to the kitchen and gets caught by Jonah. And he's like, well, what are you doing out here? And she's like, nothing. She was looking for jaffa cakes. And he's like, don't worry, I got you. I brought a whole extra case. And she's like, hell yeah. And in one of the storylines further in the comics, there's one part where she's like, her and Sam are having jaffa cakes, just cause she's got a box. She's holding it right there. You can see it. And also like, she has to ask herself, if I hid something and didn't remember where I hid it, where would I hide it? A box of jaffa cakes. I shit you not. She's obsessed with them. And it's great. I see why. They're good.
They are good. Better than I
There's
expected them to be. But I should have known they'd be good given how prominent they are in Tomb Raider.
It's so funny. It's one of those little things. Like, it's just such a random thing. And, like, you don't have to put this in. But, like, they just keep popping up. And it's great. It brings characters to life.
It's a nice little character quirk to add on.
Yeah.
I will clarify for this specifically. We've read some, but not all of the comics. We made an on-the-fly choice to only talk about the prequel in depth for this. And then when we play the rest of the trilogy, we'll cover the rest of the comics.
Yeah, because there's a lot. There is a lot. I did not expect this to turn into like us making the Tomb Raider fandom podcast, but it's kind of what it turned into a little bit. God, these are so good. The cake, so soft.
It is way softer than I thought it'd be for something I bought like on the shelf in a box. I was expecting like we buy Chips Ahoy for the first time. Like, oh my god!
Yeah,
I shouldn't have bought these. These are not the kind of cookies I thought they were.
Yeah, wait, this is a cookie? Crazy.
As it crumbles apart.
I guess it's fair to call this jelly.
Yeah, I thought this was like, when I've heard it talked about, I thought it was like a jam, like what you'd buy for like a peanut butter jelly sandwich. It's not that.
No, it's definitely more like almost gelatinous in texture, I want to say. Like, yeah, it's interesting because I've had Jammy Dodgers before and I expected something like that, but it's not like Jammy Dodgers. So to be fair, Jammy Dodger, it's a much thinner, I guess, jam. Jammy Dodger jam. It's jam. But this is more
that's like paper thin.
Gelatin jelly. They're so good, though. I wish I bought those, too.
Another trip to Aldi's.
Yeah, I'm going. Oh, these were crazy cheap. They were like, what, $4 a box or something?
It was like $2.50 a box because I got two for $5.
Ah, there you go. I'm just like, yeah, $2.50. And you get like what, 24 each?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's like 2 sleeves.
Yeah, 2 sleeves. Good size box. Good for your archaeological digs.
A necessary fuel for everything you're going to be doing.
Fuel, truly. I do almost, because they mentioned also in the comics, I don't know, they mentioned like tea or something, because of course they're, British people. Ugh. I would be curious to see like what this would. I should have gotten milk. At least that would be, very least that. I could see like I don't know my teas, so I'm just gonna not go any further into that. But I could see a tea being good with it. No. Yeah, they're good.
Next episode, we force you to try tea.
Look, it has to be certain kinds of tea, okay? I'm not 100% against tea. Please. Spare me.
Spare the phone call you'd be bound to get seconds after saying you hate tea.
Yeah. Please spare me, Evian. No. Yeah, prequel comic. See, and there's something. Until we got to the prequels, I didn't want to say too much because I played the game Tomb Raider. I was satisfied with the story and how they did the characters for the most part. Obviously, there's some criticisms here and there, but like, at the end of the day, whatever. And then like they hit you with a prequel. I guess, it's a comic. I guess you have more room for this or whatever, but like, dang, man. Like, there's just so much more there for the characters and for the story. And it's like, oh, like, I didn't even get the vaguest fucking sense of like the characters were like this or this specifically. It's so weird. It's like Whiplash. It is. It's Whiplash for me at least because I didn't expect it. I was like, okay, whatever. This will be a cool little thing. And then they're like, yeah, Alex rides up on a fucking motorcycle, or not just like like a sport bike motorcycle. I shit you not, like one of the nice looking ones, or like Jonah can and does well. I guess you see it in the game, but apparently, Bro's just balling with a gun all the time because he saves Whitman, and they expand on Whitman's whole reason why this expedition is set up in the first place and why he's so much of a little Weasley fuck. And maybe giving some clarity as to why maybe he's acting the way he is initially on the Endurance. But
there is. When I initially played the game, I was very much. I mentioned it earlier, but I was like, the characters feel a little underdeveloped.
Yeah.
So playing this was like, it was like Whiplash, where you're like, oh, everything I wanted to be in the game is here.
It's in the comic. Yeah.
You learned so much about Whitman, and like he mentions a couple times where he's like, it's not just Sam's family's money on the line, but mine too. And you're like, what are you?
Huh?
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
What's the context of that conversation?
Mm-hmm.
But that's explained here in depth of like what the show is that Sam is recording for, and why is Sam the one recording?
Yeah, because Whitman's supposed like he is a TV personality first and foremost. Like he has a show. I forget what it's called in the comic, but he's just wrapped up with his second season. And the first season, I guess, was good ratings. I mean, he got a second. He goes around doing this stuff, and it's like the establishment is basically, hey, we've got the numbers for your second season. Not looking so hot, buddy. They're pulling funding for the third, which is what they were setting up towards with the Endurance and all this. Like, hey, Roth, I think, gets involved. He's working with Roth for this third season for whatever reason. Who cares? They met somehow.
It's the chart of the boat.
The boat, right? Because Roth and Grimm. Yeah. No, you're so right. I forgot about that. It's to charter the boat. And then everyone else gets pulled in because the funding gets pulled. And so, well, how are we going to make this third season? We can't pay for an actual camera crew and other experts and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, well, Laura is, archaeologist, supposedly fresh out of college. That is the one thing. I don't think they ever give us like any sort of sense of where she is in this moment in her life. I don't know. All I know is she's there. She's definitely not the Tomb Raider yet, or a survivor. Will be. Yeah, and like, it is kind of like a little bit of a gut punch, because it's this thing of like, oh, like this thing wasn't even supposed to happen. But then everybody pulled together and like made this expedition happen. Sam wasn't ever supposed to go.
Yeah.
But, in college, she was a bit of she did like camera stuff and video recording stuff. And so she's like, I can do it. And they're like, oh, thank you. And, and Sam's parents have money. And so she gets her father to fund a good chunk of the expedition as long as he gets some moolah back, basically, whatever artifacts they find that are worth something.
Yeah, her uncle wants part of the profit, like 60%, something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a huge chunk.
But he's like fronting most of the money.
True. And so it's definitely an interesting look. And you get to see a good chunk of it is on Whitman, which it's nice to see like how this goes because Whitman's going through divorce and the wife's taking everything.
Look, deserved.
Deserved because you do realize he cheated on somebody, and she
cheated
was
on her.
22 years old, by the way.
And then she's like, "Oh, you cheated on me with somebody younger or whatever." And he's like, pushes up glasses. Actually, she was 22, and you're like, "Dude, what the hell?"
Yeah, she's like, "You cheated on me with like a teenager or something, or like some super young, whatever." And he's like, "It was 22. Get it right." No, it's extremely amusing, that part. And yeah, and so he's like, "Well, shit, he gets news his funding is getting pulled," and so he's like, "Well, hold on, I'm gonna try and like do some underhand business deals trying to sell some like museum artifacts that got lended to me to try and get the cash because I don't have any." And that doesn't go well. Jonah has to save him. We see Jonah come in with a gun, all badass. Oh, ra-ta-ta-ta.
Yeah, then we learn a
Yeah.
lot more about Reyes in her backstory.
Oh, yeah. And like you get to see her with her kid and everything.
Yeah, we learned she was a cop. Her
Mm-hmm.
partner got killed in some accident.
Yeah, some shootout with a, you know, um, stereotypical drug gang cartel related violence.
Yeah, and then she goes on a revenge arc, and then it's kicked off the force, and
Did
then
she
meets
get kicked
Roth.
off? I thought she
Yeah, I think
quit.
she. I feel like she got kicked out, but maybe you're right, and she just left.
Mm. Oh. I mean, either way, she left the police force and went on a revenge blitz going after people outside the law, vigilante style. Go queen. Yeah, and then yeah, like you were saying, she meets Roth and she immediately like left hooks him and knocks him out. Very funny. But to be fair, he was being a prick at the bar. He was being a little drunk asshole. He wasn't getting his dwing, so he was gonna raise some chaos, and she was like, "Shut the fuck up, you bumbling oaf." And then he was like, "Damn, that was a clean hit. Yeah, I was being an ass. Do you want a job, by the way?"
Is how that goes almost exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. And then at some point they started fucking. I don't know. And I just to
Uh,
make sure, because this is actually when do we? I'm trying to remember because it's sort of up in the air. Hmm, I'll save it for
like
another
when this
time.
starts.
No, no speculation on Reyes' kid because I don't know when they go into detail about that.
I feel like it's hinted at, but never stated until the comic
Hmm.
after this.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, because you definitely do get a vibe. Okay. Yeah. Now, the more of these I eat, the more like, fuck, this jelly's strong.
It is really strong. It is like the first scent you get when you open the box.
Yeah. I guess you can't down an entire packet like I'm doing right now.
I mean, you could.
Uh,
I don't know if it's
yeah.
advised. I'm sure Laura would be very proud, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the
Doing your
best
proud,
choice.
Laura. I have to do it. I have to get in character.
Your redub of Tomb Raider, right?
Yeah, for the redub, every time I play the game, I have to have a stack of Jaffa cakes. Almost a cookie.
Damn,
I almost
almost
made
made my
your mistake.
mistake.
Yeah. uh,
You have to go back to all these at this point. There's two other games to play after this one.
yeah, shit. I have to get another 24 cookies. Fuck. Cake. You said cookies. No. Ah, Alex, what have you done?
But I like this comic a lot. It feels part of me wanted to drop my score for the game. Given how much
Because of the
information
comic.
is in this, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
it does make me wish, like, after seeing the comics, like, oh, this is what else we could have had. This is like what we could have had more of, at least, or what we could have had. It's a shame because it is fun, and I do wish. Yeah, I don't know. 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 I don't make games. I can't tell them what to do. But it does make me wish there's some way to find a way to involve the characters and really focus in more on that like story rather than just purely focusing on like we're tomb raiding, you know.
Yeah, there's so much character and character dynamic information packed into this like 50-page comic that
It's
it's
so short.
it's a
Yeah.
little unfortunate that like almost none of it makes it into the
Mm-hmm.
game.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Nice that we could have at least gotten it somewhere. And I wonder if that was part of the decision behind why Square Enix and Dark Horse collaborated together to make comics. Because like maybe during production and afterwards there's like this, we didn't really get to, though there were Tomb Raider comics before this, right? So I guess that was also another reason.
I don't know how popular they were or what could even
Beats
be in
me.
them, but there are. I don't know if they're all like tie-in comics or like standalone stuff.
Yeah, let's see. First appearance Tomb Raider Witchblade in 1997. And then the Dark Horse comics, because Top Cow. Wait, what? Okay. I guess the first publisher was 1999 to '05. Interesting. And then Dark Horse Comics is from 2014, so a year after the game came out to now. Huh. I can buy Collection Volume 1 for $100.
Oh, okay. That is cutting into your Jaffa Cake fund.
It is cutting my Jaffa Cake fund. Can't be having that. She has a butler. uh, looking at some of the few pages they show me from this volume, there are a lot of action shots of her just going to town with her dual pistols. So that's great. Oh, a T-Rex. What the fuck? All right, well, in the comics, Laura Croft goes toe to toe with the T-Rex and her two pistols.
And I bet she wins because she's built different.
Damn right she does. No doubt in my mind.
Only one person could one-on-one a T-Rex
only one
with
person.
no fear.
It's fucking Laura can't catch a break Croft. All right. I think I've officially had too many Jaffa cakes.
How many did you eat? I had like one.
Well, there's 4 left.
Oh, Jesus.
6. I think I've had 6.
Oh,
Wait,
4
no,
of that
sorry.
sleeve.
8. Yeah, 8 of the sleeve. So, yeah, no, I haven't. Gee, no, yeah, of the one sleeve, there's still another 4 plus the 12, 16.
Okay, I was like, really? You ate a sleeve and like
And
almost
more?
all of the
Yeah.
other one?
No, I don't know if I could have eaten 20 Jaffa cakes in a row.
You just gotta believe in yourself. Channel your inner Laura Croft. Easy.
You're so right. Okay. I'll do it.
Okay. While Jonik eats an entire box of Jaffa cakes, this is the end of our podcast for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. And you can join us next time when we play Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I hit him with another Sam.
Final farewell, Sam. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah, we'll catch you next time.